Kat and Jess Talk the Best, where we're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about the fourth movie in our Christmas event, Krampus, which is a comedy, drama, fantasy, and horror film from 2015. This has a 6.1 on 57,648 votes. The spoiler-free synopsis. While the holiday season represents the most magical time of the year, ancient European folklore warns of Krampus, a horned beast who punishes naughty children at Christmastime. When dysfunctional family squabbling causes young Max to lose his festive spirit, it unleashes the wrath of the fearsome demon. As Krampus lays siege to the Engel home, Mom, Pop, sister, and brother must band together to save one another from a monstrous fate.
Okay, yeah. So, this is directed by Michael Dougherty. He's also directed Trick or Treat and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yep.
And
I love Trick or Treat. Love it.
I haven't seen it, actually.
Oh, I love it. It's kind of a cult classic, though.
Oh. I did see the rating. I was like, okay, so maybe it's like certain people like it.
It's a cult classic for sure.
And this stars Adam Scott, Toni Collette, and David Koechner. And I told Kat, I looked at the list and I was like, Kat, you've picked Toni Collette for two events now.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Because she was in Hereditary also for our Halloween event. I was like,
yes, she was.
I'm like, Kat's a big fan, I'm guessing.
Which she did amazing in Hereditary, just to let you guys know.
It's like, if you have not listened to that episode.
Yeah, if you haven't listened. I love Toni Collette's performance in that movie. So, ratings. On IMDb, 29 point... Hold on. What?
I'm going to go to the grocery store.
Okay.
Do you need anything in specific?
We need stuff for lunch for Christmas, and then whatever you want to take to your parents.
That's all you need. You don't need anything specifically? Like for you?
Not that I can think of right now.
Or just text me if you think of it.
Yeah, okay. So, on IMDb, 24.9% of users rated this at a 6, and then 23.9% of users rated it at a 7. So, it was, like, super close.
That is very
between
close.
Those two. So, on Metacritic, it has a 49. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 67 on 127 critical reviews. Two of the fresh. Ezekiel Obregon. The risks taken in this film are appreciated. The film is ideal for these Christmas days. He didn't really say anything. Then David Aldridge. Still, it nicely blends horror and humor, delivers scary stuff at its best, and is well worth the watch if you're sick to the stomach of traditional Christmas slush. I mean, it is true because it takes one of the dark folklore that Christmas has, and it's just like, here you go. This is this Christmas movie. Sorry, but not really.
I mean, it's not all happy and sweet and everything. There's, like, destruction. So, it's a nice change. I'll say that.
Barely any of it is happy and sweet. Which is what makes it so funny. So, Too Rotten. Stephanie Zacharek. Some clever soul might have done something moderately effective with this idea, but Krampus is too dumb to be scary and too listless to be entertaining. I mean, it's not scary. I mean, it's not scary for me because of the amount of horror movies I watch, but I feel like if you let a littler, like a younger kid watch this, they're going to be kind of scared.
Probably.
Like, this is going to be, when I have kids, this is going to be my movie of, if you're acting bad, this is what's going to happen.
I can see that. I really can. I was like, I didn't think it was scary, but...
No, it's not really scary for people that watch horror all the time, but Sean wouldn't watch it. He watched the trailer and he's like, nope. So, people that don't like horror, yes, this would be scary, but if you like horror, then no, it's not scary. A.A. Dowd. Otherwise, this holiday season fright flick never leaps far enough outside of its own box. The movie flirts with going full-on monster mash, with really cutting loose, but the mayhem is too little, too late. It does kind of save the, all the big monster stuff to, the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Which, I mean, sometimes that can be really good, because there are some movies that it saves it to, the last 30 minutes, and it's super good, and then there's other ones that it's like, oh, I just saw what the monsters are.
Yeah. I mean, I think a good example with, not revealing, who the monster is or who the villain is Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they do a good job with all of that.
The original one.
Yeah. So then, the consensus. Krampus is gory good fun for fans of non-traditional holiday horror with a fondness for Joe Dante's B-movie classics, even if it doesn't have quite the savage bite its concept calls for. I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
So, the budget was $15 million. Its opening weekend, it made $55,082,500. Hold on. Just kidding. I wrote that wrong.
Oh.
It's $5 million. So opening weekend it made $5,082,578. Domestic it made $42,725,475. Actually, hold on. Let me look at this. I think this might be wrong. Hold on.
Y'all fine.
I did this 3 weeks ago. Okay. So, opening weekend, it made $16,293,325. Domestically, the domestic gross, it made $42,725,475. International growth, $18,823,232 for a worldwide total of $61,548,707. So most of that was right. And its top lifetime gross is number 2013. Yeah, see, so I don't know what I did. I just messed up all the numbers. Let's just throw some numbers in there.
Call it good.
So the awards, it won 4 awards and was nominated for 14 others. Fangoria Chainsaw Awards won Best Makeup and Creature Effects. Fright Meter Awards, Best Special Effects. iHorror Awards, Best Horror Character. International Film Music Critics Awards, Best Original Score for a Comedy Film. Because like we said, this was a comedy. So, initial thoughts.
I'll go, since I just watched this. I was like, alright, Krampus, I even made a joke the other day. I was like, man, some people were just pissing me off. I hope Krampus takes them. I was like, I know the story of Krampus and everything, so I was interested. I'm like, alright, see how this goes. I'm like, how are they going to show Krampus? I thought it was okay. I like the grandma. She was a
Yeah.
pretty cool lady.
I love the grandma.
It's like, I will say some of the comedy seemed a little forced, but maybe they're just trying to cover, like, trying to do the comedy and, like, a little bit of horror into it so make you not as scared about it. I don't know. I was like, okay, that's all right. I mean, there's some good comedy actors in here. I'll say that.
Yeah, there are some that I recognize for comedy.
Yeah, like, overall, it was okay. Like, I wish there would have been more Krampus. I mean, I get he sends, like, his minions and stuff, but I feel like there could have been more.
His elves. Those are his elves.
I just, like, and I don't know if I agree with those awards. I mean, some effects were okay, but some of them were really, like, hokey. And I'm guessing that's trying to be for the comedy part, but I've seen better special effects, especially when it comes to, like, comedy horror things like this. So, yeah, I thought it was okay.
Okay. I enjoy watching this movie. I think it's fun, and I think it's funny because of the take they have on Krampus. Because, I mean, I do know who Krampus is and all that, and I wish that there was, like, a true horror film, not just, like, a comedy horror. But this being what we've got, I'm okay with it. Like, it's better than some other Christmas horror movies I've seen. Like, there's quite a few Christmas horror movies, and this one is probably one of the best. Because some of them are pretty bad. Like, Better Watch Out's kind of... That one's not one that I like too much. It's got an interesting concept, but I don't think it's as good as this one. But there's just movies like that they try to be like a Christmassy horror movie, but it just doesn't work. But then this one, just completely ignoring the Santa Claus aspect, I liked. Because not everybody believes in Santa Claus. So this one is like a good alternative, I think.
It's like we're just going to stick like this creature in your face and say, you better be good or else he's coming for you.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
And it's like, I agree with you. I wish there was a bit more horror to it.
Yeah, I wish they would do a horror one. Like, just straight horror on this. But I can understand why they made it more of like a comedy, because most of the time Christmas horror doesn't work out too well. But yeah, I do enjoy this one.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Alright, that was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then stop listening and come back after you've watched it. So, it kind of starts out like a normal Christmas time. Like, everybody's storming.
Reminds me of Black Friday.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think every time. I'm like, oh, look, it's Black Friday. Storming into stores and all that. Just big fights and stuff.
Fights, people trampling at each other, security's tasing people.
Yeah, and then we see a big, huge fight. And this is, like, all in slow motion.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. And then, so we see this, like, big, huge fight at the end. And then we see A Christmas Carol. I don't know if it's that's the name of that one, but it's like he's talking about, like, the ghosts of Christmas and stuff, and Ebenezer Scrooge and all that. I don't know what the black and white one is called. If it is, in fact, called A Christmas Carol.
It is.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen it, but I don't ever remember what it's called.
I was like, yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay.
I was like, they didn't really change the name. I mean,
Yeah, as many times as they made that movie.
It's been made.
That's
I
why I
don't know how
never
many
know what
times.
it's called, because it's always been remade, and I don't know. I just can't ever remember if they changed the name or not. But it's always the same story.
And I feel Charles Dickens just rolling in his grave every time a remake of that movie happens. It's true.
Yeah. But then we meet the grandma, and she is Omi. That's what her name is, and she is played by Krista Stadler. Yeah. And she's sitting there making cookies and stuff, and then like the rest of the family comes in, and they're all arguing with each other, and because Max, he's the kid, he was one of them fighting, and they're talking to him about how like he shouldn't have been fighting because that guy is twice his size and stuff like that. And Mom, her name is Sarah, played by Toni Collette. She's saying, you know, kids got to find out someday. And I think what happened was is some of the kids in Max's class were saying something about Santa Claus not being real.
Yeah.
And that made Max mad. And he's like trying to say, oh, I was just trying to protect the kids and stuff. Like protect the little kids from not knowing, or yet, because they're all still little. And he like still wants to do their family tradition of like wrapping presents and watching Charlie Brown Christmas. And I'm like, that's a good tradition.
It is. That's nice.
I love Charlie Brown Christmas.
I mean, the tree is just enough.
But his dad has to work, and his mom is like, I have to hang this picture up.
And so he's talking with his grandma, and she's asking him, she's like, did you finish your letter yet?
Yeah. And she's speaking a different language almost this entire movie. Pretty sure it's
German.
It's pretty sure it's German, because this is a German folklore. The Krampus folklore comes from Germany. So, I couldn't remember, because I had seen this a while ago, like right after it first came out. But then I was watching it this time, and I couldn't remember if there were subtitles, and there was no subtitles under her. So I was like, well, crap, let me turn subtitles on. Because I couldn't remember. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're not supposed to know what she's saying.
Oh, I had subtitles on mine.
Mine did not have any subtitles at all.
Yeah, I knew what she was talking about for most of the time. It was nice.
Because mine had absolutely no subtitles either time I watched it. So I had no idea what she was saying the entire time. Like, I could guess.
I was like, she had
easy
some
to
really
guess.
good quotes, so.
Weird. Because I just watched the digital version, and there was absolutely no subtitles on it. But he's saying that he finished his letter, but he doesn't really know exactly what to ask for. So he still wants to do some stuff on it. But then he folds it up and puts it back in his little pocket. And then we see Sarah and Beth, so his mom and sister, are hanging up the picture, and they're talking about their family that's coming, which is Toni Collette's sister and kids and husband are coming. And they're talking about how Beth doesn't want to share a room with the girls because they're kind of wild and they pee standing up, is what she said. She's like, and they pooped in my bed last time, and Sarah's like, no, that was dog poop, not human. And she's like, well, maybe they shouldn't breed. And she gets mad. She's like, you shouldn't say that. She's like, well, I'm just saying what you said. And then she goes, this is one of my favorite quotes, is the one she says right after that, so I'll save it for later. But Sarah's like looking at the picture, and she notices Santa being creepy, staring at Beth's butt during a picture.
Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? I was like, that's
it's
not gross at all.
It's kind of funny because most of the guys that play Santa just are not the best people in the world. They just want the money because they go to like temp agencies.
Yeah.
And that's the job that they get.
I mean, some are like that. Some are not. Some are actually good.
Yeah, some are actually good Santas, but I feel like most of them in malls are not good Santas. I feel like malls are like the worst Santas.
It's like, the mall down here has a good Santa. He looks just like him.
All of them look just like the
He's
picture
got
of
his real
Santa.
beard. I will defend
like
Santa
taking-
till the end, damn it.
I don't like taking pictures of Santa.
Oh, I didn't either, but it's still.
But then the family shows up. And they're all coming in and everything. Max is upstairs finishing up his letter. And so he comes downstairs and they're all coming in and there's 2 girls and a boy that come inside, and then they're bringing all these presents and everything, and then Aunt Dorothy comes in. And Aunt Dorothy wasn't supposed to come.
It's like, surprise!
Yeah, and so Sarah's not very happy about it, but Linda's like, she tricked me.
And then they're like, wait a minute, we're missing somebody.
Yeah,
It's like,
I forgot.
it's like the baby's in the car still. I'm like, how
Yeah,
do
they
you
forgot
forget
the
a
baby.
baby?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Then it comes to dinner time. And dinner is pretty funny.
oh
They're
yeah.
all... It's like a dysfunctional family.
Super dysfunctional.
Like, making fun of each other. Like, who doesn't have ham on Christmas? And I'm like, I don't. But I don't ever really do traditional Christmas. Like, I've never really done it. Done it a few times, but most of the time we just do something else. Because you have traditional Thanksgiving, so like, why would you have a big, huge traditional dinner then and then just do one 1 month later?
Food.
No, we have a big, huge dinner, just not the traditional like mashed potatoes, ham, turkey, gravy, all that crap. We just pick whatever else we want.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a big fan of traditional dinners, anyways.
So you're not a big fan of tradition.
No, I have traditions. They're just not everybody else's traditions. I do my own fucking traditions.
There it is.
But the girls are messing with Max. They like take his litter, or they're saying first. They're messing with him, saying that Santa crashed his sleigh and had to eat his reindeer. And I thought that part was so funny because I was like, I never came up with that. I should have said that when I was little. That would have been so funny. But that's also just me.
That is definitely you.
I was like, because I think that'd be pretty funny.
And they, what was it? What was
They
it?
take his letter.
Yeah. They have his letter and they started reading it out loud.
Yeah.
He's saying, I just want everything to be happy and everything. I want my parents to happy together. And I wish my sister and I would hang out more like we used to. And
Yeah. Oh, and I liked the one where he was like, can you help out my aunt and uncle because I know they have a hard time. I was like, that is so sweet.
that's very sweet. And all of them just like stunned at what he's saying.
Yeah. And then the girls get mad because they read the part where he thinks that their dad wanted them to be boys. And I'm like, well, he's not wrong.
No, because they are, you know, we really wanted them to be boys, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. And then they start fighting.
Yeah, and he gets his letter back and he goes to
Yeah.
his room.
Uh-huh.
He's upset about it, and he's like, ugh, why are these people, and his dad comes up with them and everything, and he's like, why did they even come, you know, it's just a big old mess, and so, you know, it's like, we don't even
Yeah.
get along.
He's like, well, that's family. You gotta pretend.
And I'm like,
He's like, I don't want to pretend.
it's like, you don't always have to, you can just say, fuck it, but
Um,
depends on the family, I guess.
yeah. But so he rips up his letter and throws it out the window, and it's kind of like sucked up into the sky. Then we see the storm rolling in, like a magical storm, because it reminds me of James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that storm that comes in. It reminds me of that. Then there's like flickering lights everywhere, and then all of the lights but theirs go out. And then it's the next morning, and we see a snowman. Max sees a snowman outside.
Yeah. Their power is out the now.
Yeah, power and water and heat, like everything. They can't get anything. And Max is like trying to tell his parents about the snowman outside, and they could care less. They're like, "Yeah, good job. It's a snowman."
It's like, I didn't make it.
Yeah.
It's like this weird snowman just shows up in the front yard. I mean, it's weird. And so like there's this package that comes.
Yeah.
And right next to the package, you see this big red bag.
Yeah.
And the mail guy's like, "That, yeah, I didn't bring that. That was just there."
He's like, that was probably the boys in brown, meaning the,
UPS?
Yeah, UPS. I was like, what is their names? And then I figured it out. But then Beth comes down and she's like saying that Derek, who we did meet earlier, she was on the phone with him, or on Skype or whatever with him. She wants to go check on him because he's not answering her text messages.
It's like, well, the power's out, honey. It's just snowing. What do you think's going to happen? I was like, God,
she's like, just let me go walk and check on him.
And I'm like, what a dumbass teenager.
I was like, in a blizzard?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nope. He can just sit in his house and not answer text messages. I don't even care. I ain't going nowhere.
I know.
But I also hate the snow, so.
The mom she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And the dad's like, she'll be okay. It'll be fine.
Yep.
I'm like, you let your teenage daughter go out in a blizzard. Okay. Good parenting.
Yeah. And so, then the entire time, Omi is sitting there messing with the fire. And Sarah keeps telling Max to get her out of the fire before she burns the house down. Which is funny because it kind of happens later, but not her.
No.
Somebody else does.
And she's making hot chocolate for everybody.
Yeah. Then we see Beth out in the storm. And she's like walking and stuff. And she keeps hearing these noises, and then she looks up and she sees Krampus on one of the roofs. And I love this shot of him kind of like in the snow because you don't get a close-up of him. You just see like the silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of my favorites in the movie is that moment of seeing him the first time. Especially because if you don't know what Krampus is supposed to look like, that can kind of be a shock. You're like, oh,
You're like,
kind of weird.
You're like, what the hell is that thing on the roof?
Yeah. So I think that's a really cool shot. And then he jumps to the other house, and so she books it, well, as fast as someone can run in the snow when it's a blizzard outside.
Yeah, and Krampus, of course, is following behind on the roofs.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees that male person was in his van, and she's trying to get him, like, open it, and she sees that he's frozen to death.
Yeah.
So she hides onto the van.
Yep. Which every horror movie does something like this. Hide under the bed, hide under the van, hide in the most obvious spot.
Hide somewhere that's so easy to get to. It's like, really?
Yeah, I hate that in horror movies, but it happens in, like, every single one, so.
Every time. And she sees, like, the feet. And it's dragging chains.
Yep, the hoofs.
Yeah. And then it, like, you see it just, like, goes away. And you're like,
Yeah.
she's like, okay, what the hell? And then, like, you see it just, like, goes away. And you're like, she's like, okay, what the hell? And then, like, you see it just, like, goes away. And you're like, she's like, okay, what the hell? And then, like, you see it just, like, goes away. And you're like, And then
she sees the Jack-in-the-Box.
Yeah, that Jack-in-the-Box.
And it's like making the noise and stuff, like a Christmas song one too.
Yeah.
So it's a Christmas one. And you just barely see the little dude creeping out, and then she screams, and we don't see it, but she dies.
Yeah, she's screaming.
And then we jump back to the house, and her parents are super worried about her, so...
And there's more
Tommy...
snowmen outside.
Oh, yeah. More snowmen. Those snowmen remind me of that Jack Frost movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's like evil Jack Frost or whatever. But so the Uncle Howard and Dad, whose name is Tommy, they're gonna go out and find her. But Omi comes over to Tommy and she's like talking to him and stuff. And since I didn't have subtitles, I don't know why. I had all the English subtitles, but for some reason I want to put the German ones on there. But she's like super worried. She doesn't want him to go outside. She's trying to convince him to stay inside.
Trying to, yeah.
But he doesn't listen. So Tommy and Howard go outside and start making their way towards Derek's house to find Beth.
In a Hummer.
Yep. And they come across this snowplow just kind of in the street. Nobody's in it. The keys are still inside. But then they also notice that the glass has been punched in.
Through the front. Because the uncle was like, oh man, he must have flew. And the dad's like, no, it went the other way. The glass is pushed in, not out.
Yeah. So they go and get guns out of the back of the Hummer and start taking a look around and stuff. And then back at the house, Sarah and Linda are talking to each other about the Christmas decorations because most of them were from when they were little. And then they start hearing noises upstairs. And then Sarah's like, oh, it's just squirrels.
Really loud squirrels.
And then there's like this big huge bang and she's like, yep, it's squirrels. And I'm just like, what? And I realized that was not a very well done thing, but it's just like such denial that I'm just like, yep, these people are gonna die.
Yep.
All of them.
All of them. No one's gonna survive.
Gonna die. So the grandma or Omi, I keep calling her the grandma. That's what I kept writing down.
Well, I mean, technically, I think
She's
Omi is kind of like grandma.
Yeah, I
German,
think it's
so.
something like that. But she like sticks her head up the flue, kind of like looks up it, and I'm like, the fire is going. You're gonna burn your friggin' hair off. Now I understand why they wanted you out of the fireplace.
Nah, grandma don't care.
Yeah. Then it jumps back to the dad and uncle, and they are at Derek's house and like looking around and stuff, and the fireplace is destroyed and all that. And they're looking around, and then they start hearing Beth screaming outside, so they run outside. And then Howard gets attacked by a monster.
And he gets dragged under the snow.
You can't see it, because all you can see is like the snow moving, like there's something under it. Which I think was cool way to do it without having to pay for any effects really there.
True.
They probably just put something under the snow and just drug it around. So I thought that was a cool way to avoid some special effects money that they probably needed, because they needed quite a bit for this movie.
Just at the end part. So the dad's like, he shoots at whatever's, trying to pull Howard down, and it goes away.
Yeah.
And they go back and see the Hummer is completely and utterly destroyed.
Yep. And then it jumps to Sarah. She's like, I'm going to go look for them, because it's been a while and they heard the gunshots. But then right as she's about to like open the door, Tommy and Howard get back and are like yelling at everyone that they need to stay inside and they can't go and we need to stay away from the windows and everybody needs to stay together and all that. And Howard's like sitting there saying everybody's gonna die, this, that, and the other. And Tommy just like looks at him and is like, not here, not now. And so they send the kids into the kitchen with Omi and Aunt Dorothy. So Aunt Dorothy keeps giving the kids alcohol.
She's like, we're going to make some peppermint schnapps. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, so this is the fun aunt. Okay. And the grandma, she's like telling him to keep the fire up.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a reason why she's telling you that.
And then they're in the living room. They're trying to kind of fix Howard's leg up because that thing got his leg and it's like all torn up and everything. And I feel like they put a lot of blood on that just to kind of cover it up.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could still see it, and you could still see that there was some pretty good makeup effects under it, but I just felt like there was a bit too much blood on it.
They're going to board up the house.
Yep. And they're trying to figure out what to do and everything, and then they make the kids watch the movie, boarding up the house. And Max is saying that Omi is acting weird, and Tommy's like, yeah, she always acts weird around Christmas.
It's like,
and then
you learn why in a little bit.
Yeah, because the Tommy and Howard decide that they're gonna like sleep in shifts, take turns and stuff.
Yeah, that don't happen though.
No, everybody ends up falling asleep, so the fire goes out, and then the tablet dies, and then there's like all kinds of little noises upstairs and stuff, and then something is coming down the chimney. And at first you see a hook, and then you see a chain, and then you see a little gingerbread man. And Howie Jr., so Howard's oldest boy is my guess. Well, oldest kid.
I was like, he's only got one boy.
Yeah. He thinks he has 3, but...
He's got one.
Yeah. He wakes up and he goes over to it and he sees there's a little gingerbread man, so he takes it and takes a bite out of it, and then it wakes up and it's like screaming at him. And this part I think is funny.
And like the gingerbread man wraps Howie up in the chains and they try dragging him up the chimney.
Yeah.
And then everyone hears all this and they start waking up and they're freaking out because the kid's getting dragged up in the chimney, and so they have to grab at his feet.
Yep, and Sarah gets his feet, and then so they have to, they're both being dragged up, so then they Howard grabs one leg, Linda grabs the other leg, and they're like pulling him down. And this is when the log gets kicked out of the fire, and it catches the tree on fire, catches all the presents on fire. And, but they finally are able to get at least Sarah out. But Howie Jr. gets taken.
Yep, he gets pulled up and you see a shoe falls down.
Yep. And then we get Omi telling the story about Krampus.
I actually really like this part right here. It's some good animation.
Yeah, I love this part. The stop motion here.
Yeah.
That they do.
And she's done how when she was a little girl, how everything like was just a big old mess, and it was like almost the same thing as happening now. And people have forgotten what Christmas was really about. And even like her own family did, and then finally she did. And she just wished for her family just to go away. And so, of course, Krampus comes and, takes them all away. Because that was her wish.
Yep.
And he did not take her. He left her a little bell.
Yep. Because he had to leave one person alive. And then Howard's like, well, I don't believe this. I'm going to go find Howie. And then Omi, I think they're in the kitchen at this point, because the adults are talking again. or they're sitting somewhere away from the adults because Omi is talking to the kids because the kids are like super interested. They want to know like what's going on and stuff. And so she's talking to them while the aunt and the uncle are kind of off. Like, well, Uncle Howard's going crazy somewhere. Aunt Linda is trying to wrap up some presents because she wants her kids to have Christmas. And you can see she's kind of devastated. And she's looking at these presents that came in that big red bag. And then Sarah and Tommy are talking because Tommy's like trying to figure out a plan of how to get everybody out. But then Sarah goes and gets Linda, and she's like, well, I need to wrap these presents for the kids. Because she, like, they have money problems, as we learned, like, earlier in the movie, but she still wants to try and give her kids something for Christmas. So she's going to wrap up these presents that are making weird noises. I'm like, that's not a good idea.
Definitely not a good idea. It's like making noises. It's like shaking a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Not a good thing.
Not a good idea. Don't do that.
No.
No.
Not a good thing.
But, so, Tommy and Sarah and Linda and Howard are all making this plan to go for the snowplow. And then we see the presents. We get like another shot of those presents that came in the big red bag, and they're all shaking and making noises now.
It's like, oh goodness, something's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then Max sees Krampus right outside.
Yeah, through the binoculars.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to his girl cousins.
Yep.
They are upstairs because one of them need to use the restroom, but the toilet downstairs got clogged by the aunt.
Yeah.
And so they have a flashlight, and they hear this voice. They think it's their cousin, Beth. They think it's her up in the attic. They're like, where have you been, you know? Like, everyone's worried about you. And so they climb up to it, and then you hear screaming.
Yeah, and all the parents and everybody downstairs hear it, so they head upstairs to investigate, but since Howard is hurt, they leave him down with Max and Omi and the baby and all them.
And the dog.
Yep.
Dog cracked me up.
And yeah, I love that dog.
I was like, because Howard's like, hey, you know, go check what's going on. Dog's like, nope.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's a nope.
I'm like, smart dog. Smart dog.
I'm gonna go take care of myself over here. Sorry. But then we get the toys attacking. And I love the toys. I think they're fun. They may not have the best effects, but I do enjoy them. They're funny.
Yeah.
They're just like the most random things. You got like this big, huge, long Jack-in-the-Box snake thing eating one of the kids. You've got this demonic teddy bear thing. You've got this evil robot. And you've got like this angel doll.
Angel doll that tries to, you know, keep strangling and hanging, you know, Sarah. Yeah. And, like, I was like, okay, what the hell's going on here? It actually made me laugh more than anything, this part. I'll say that.
I think that was really what this part was really about. I mean, it's scarier for people that don't like horror, but then for the people that do like horror, this is just kind of like the gimmicks of horror that are funny, and I think that's what they were trying to do.
Cracked me up. I will say that. I was just laughing at this. Like, really? Okay.
Downstairs, Howard hears some noises, so he goes investigating. So he's walking around in the kitchen, and you keep hearing these like little voices and stuff. And then you see the gingerbread men.
They're shooting nails at him.
Yeah.
With a nail gun. I'm like, are you kidding?
Do you know who these little gingerbread men reminded me of?
Who?
Gremlins.
I was thinking that too, actually.
I love the gingerbread men.
It's like, they're just so evil. And so adorable at the same time.
They remind me so much of Gremlins.
Well, Gremlins is a Christmas movie too, so.
It is. But they like are attacking Howard and stuff, and he's trying to defend himself, and they get caught on fire. Like, sorry. He's like attacking them, and then they're running around on fire and stuff, and they're trying to get the fire off, like put the fire out, so they're like rolling around on the ground and stuff, and then he says something, Howard does, and then they turn and hear him, and they go, there he is, get him, and they like start running at him, and he shoots one of them, and then the other one is like, he had run out of bullets or something, and so it like jumps at him, but then you hear this noise, and then it shows the dog is eating him.
I like how the one that was jumping at him had like a candy cane shiv.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, this is dark.
It's so funny. I loved the gingerbread men. But then upstairs, the toys are attacking. The angel toy is attacking Sarah. The little bear is attacking Linda. The robot toy is attacking Tommy. Then Linda kind of looks over and Linda looks over and she sees Stevie, one of her daughters, is like all wrapped up in Christmas lights and stuff. And so she like fends off all the toys and stuff because it was getting very dire for all of them. She like fends them off and she's trying to attack the big long
Jack in the Boxing.
Yeah, like Jack in the Box snake clown toy. Like weirdest, creepiest looking toy in the world.
It was pretty creepy, I'll say that.
And it got Jordan, and it got away with Jordan, but Stevie is still here. So they make it downstairs. And like the toys are all panicking and stuff. And then Rosie went upstairs, the dog Rosie went upstairs, and she's like attacking. My guess is she was attacking the snake Jack-in-the-Box clown thing.
Yeah.
Because it falls through the ceiling after we hear some very not nice noises coming from the dog. But the thing I like is they didn't show it.
No.
They insinuate it, but they didn't show it.
Which is nice.
Because I hate it when they show it. I'm like, I don't care if you show me people dying. Don't show me animals dying.
It's like, don't hurt the dog. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. But so, it falls through the ceiling, and Howard's gonna shoot it, but then the big angel, or not big angel, but the like angel doll thing attacks.
And so does the bear.
Yep, the bear comes down and attacks. And Aunt Dorothy ends up with the gun, so she shoots the bear.
And the angel.
And then, the angel. And she's about to shoot the Jack-in-the-Box thing, but then there's like this noise outside and she can hear it. She turns around and looks at the,
window?
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted. I have a football game on and they just blocked the field goal. So I got distracted.
Yeah, it is so cute. Like, the Jack-in-the-Box, she's like, yay! Like, claps his little hands together.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do that too!
Then all the elves come in. And they're not elves like you would really think they were. They are pretty big, actually. Like, they're people-sized.
They're big. They got weird-looking faces and masks on.
But I loved these costumes because they're all so different.
They are. I'll say that.
Like, the costuming in this movie is great. Some of the special effects aren't that great, but the costuming in this movie, I loved. But so then they, like, start attacking everyone, and they got Aunt Dorothy wrapped up in some chains, and then they also rescue the little Jack-in-the-Box thing.
They take the baby.
Yeah, they pick up the baby who they left sitting on the floor by the burnt Christmas tree, which was right by the window. And then they're sitting there, where's the baby? Where's the baby? And stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my god, you forgot about that baby again.
Again. Great parenting. The uncle gets pulled out too.
Yeah, Uncle and Aunt both, Uncle Howard and Aunt Dorothy both get pulled out. Baby gets taken. Jack-in-the-Box gets rescued. And then the elves are like getting ready to attack, but then they hear like this howling noise.
Yeah.
And then they leave.
And I'm guessing that's Krampus calling them back.
Yeah, because there's a big, huge bang on the roof. And then Max says, it's Krampus. So then everybody decides it's time to leave.
He's like, let's get the hell out of here.
So they're all getting their hats and gloves and everything because it's a blizzard outside. And they're heading out. And Omi is the last one, so she shuts the door and stays inside. And Max and Tommy are, like, trying to get her to come out. But then Max is like, she's gonna try and give us some time to escape. So they all leave. And then we see the wall of the chimney breaking. Like, where the chimney would be. The wall is, like, cracking and breaking and stuff. And then we see Krampus come out. And we get more of a close-up of him. Like, we get to see his hands. We get to see his face, which I wish they hadn't done a stagnant face. I wish they had done one that moved.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I'm like, some of the facial effects, I'm like, that could have been better. I expected a little differently, but...
It wasn't any effects. All it really was a mask. And they didn't make it a movable mask.
Well, with the tongue.
Yeah, the tongue wasn't that great. But I'm not big on masks that you can't move in. And I think that's just partially from when I watched Face Off. They would always complain, or like, not complain, but they would always ding points, I guess, from people who did stagnant masks. Yeah. And so those people being like the best in their field of makeup effects, knowing what their opinions are on stagnant masks, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see what you mean there. And then this one has a stagnant mask, and I'm just like, I don't like that.
It's easier. You get a lot more of, like, especially for the actor, you get a lot more out of it if it's movable.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I wish that they had done a movable one.
I mean, even if you did, like, some have done before, like, it's like the mask and everything, but it still moves. The actor doesn't move it, someone else does.
Yeah.
That would have worked fine, too, for this.
But I think that's, like, my only real complaint about the Krampus character in general is that his face doesn't move. Like, it's just a big, huge, stuck, wide open mouth. Other than that, I think they did a good job of, like, taking the Santa Claus face and making it creepy.
Yeah.
Other than just leaving that big, huge, stagnant mouth.
Like, it didn't remind me of Santa Claus that much, actually. I'll say that. I don't know why. I'll say this. This is the Harry Potter nerd coming out of me. Reminded me a little bit of Dumbledore. It did. I don't know why, but it reminded me of Dumbledore.
Dumbledore's evil self is Krampus.
We're calling it now. We're calling it now. That's what it is.
Yep, you heard it here.
The Krampus is like evil Dumbledore.
Then we get to see his bag of toys, and Omi looks down in the bag, and I'm just like, nope, you're dead.
You're done for. He finally came for you.
Toys come up, and she's dead.
Pretty much.
And then we see all the people, they're like trying to leave and stuff. And they hear the monsters coming. The snow monster. And Dad's like, everyone get behind me, keep going to the plow. And he like turns around and tries to like fend off the monster. And he does a really good job at first, and then he runs out of bullets.
Yeah. And he gets pulled under too.
Yep. And then it starts coming after the others, and they're able to get the kids into the snowplow, but the monster gets Linda and Sarah.
Yes.
So then Stevie and Max are trying to start the plow. It's not working. The elves attack and take Stevie off. But Max is able to fend one of the elves off, and he like pushes it in the snow, and the monster eats it. But then Max decides to get out of the snowplow and go look for Stevie. But Krampus shows up, and he's like standing there, and he gives Max his letter. But inside, it's like the whole folded up thing that he had ripped to pieces. And then we hear what Grandma has said earlier about Krampus leaving one person left. And then we see a sleigh bell that says Krampus on it. And I feel like this is where it should have ended.
Thank you.
That's my only complaint. Like, the next, 10 minutes. No, I don't even think it's 10 minutes. Maybe. So, yeah, the next 10 minutes, I feel like should have been left out.
I completely agree with you.
So, most of the time when I watch it, I'm just like, nope, we're going to stop it right here.
I agree with you. I thought that was the end of it. And I'm like, okay, that's a good ending. I'll take it.
Yeah, I remember the beginning, the first time I ever watched this, I felt like it had 3 endings. And this was the first one.
Yes.
That I felt like it had.
I would have taken this as an ending. I would have been fine with it. But no, it keeps going. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. And we see the sleigh. And I actually liked the design of the little reindeer thing. And the sleigh. And we can see all the monsters and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Max is facing off with Krampus, telling him that he wants to take everything back. He wants his family back. He didn't mean any of it.
He throws a bell.
Yep. And so, this big, huge hole in the ground opens up to, my guess is hell. And they're going to throw Stevie into it, but Max, runs up to Krampus, and he's like, take me instead. And then everything starts laughing.
Yeah, it was Krampus, because he's crying. So Krampus, with his long finger, touches the tear, and then just starts laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
That's dark. That's dark.
Then they throw Stevie in anyways.
Yeah.
And he's like, I told you to take me. And then they throw Max in. And this is the second ending.
I would have been fine with that too, actually. Yeah. Everybody gone. I'd be fine with that. But no.
Then
we keep going.
Yep.
This part pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie.
Max wakes up in he dreamed it or something.
That's what pissed me off.
And then there's the advent calendar and it's Christmas Day, and so he goes downstairs and everyone's there and they're all enjoying Christmas and stuff, and then presents, and then Max opens his present and it's the sleigh bell, and he's looking at it, and everybody turns to him and is looking at him, and they're all worried. And then it zooms out, and it's this big, huge snow globe thing. But then it keeps zooming out. Well, it's not even a big, huge snow globe. It's a normal snow globe. And you see Krampus, had just put it there. And it keeps zooming out. And there's tons of snow globes.
Yes.
So I took it as each time he goes and gets a family, they get put in this snow globe.
They get collected.
Yeah. But I definitely feel like it should have ended right after Krampus gave Max the snow globe and the sleigh bell and disappeared.
I would have been perfectly happy with that. This dream shit pissed me off. You have no idea. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? We're pulling this dream shit? That is, one of my least favorite concepts. No offense. I mean, The Wizard of Oz had that, but that's, the only one I liked.
And Babes in Toyland.
Babes in Toyland, okay. But that's because it's Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
In just Christmas time. Let's not lie there. This one just pissed me off more than anything.
But I just feel with that, it's not, it really wasn't a dream. They're just making it seem like a dream because now they're stuck in the snow globe and have to sit there forever in a snow globe.
You should have just ended it with him getting the bell the first time.
Yeah.
But that's me.
That's the only thing I think is, I felt like the last 10 minutes were unnecessary. I feel like it would have been a perfect ending to just end on the sleigh bell. And then they could have done a sequel from there. But then this, when it went on, I was like, no. So, I think that's all I've got, and that is the end of the movie. So,
yes.
For the music is by Douglas Pipes, and he is known for Monster House from 2006, The Babysitter from 2017, Trick or Treat from 2007, which he worked on with the same director for this movie. And he first got started working on Moonstalker from 1989. And let me just double check. I don't think he's working on anything right now. Yeah, the most recent thing that he did was episode of Into the Dark, but he hasn't really been working on anything lately. But I did like the music. I like the dark play on the Christmas music.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
I enjoy this music quite a bit, and I feel like it's really well placed and also well done, too. Because you take those themes that you know to be bright and happy, and then just put like a dark spin on them, and it's just like, makes it extra creepy, which is fun. So, comparison. There are quite a few other Krampus movies, but based on the IMDb ratings, this is the best one. Because most of the rest of them are under 5. And I haven't seen any of them because I really like the Krampus concept and I don't want it ruined. So I just don't really want to watch any of those other ones. So, I mean, other than the folklore of Krampus, which they kind of explained in the movie, there's not really much else to compare it to.
That's true.
So, trivia?
There's some.
Okay.
So, this was released on December 4th to coincide with the Krampusnacht, which is the festival tradition of the night before Krampus comes.
Yeah, because he doesn't come on Christmas.
No, he comes earlier. Like the beginning of December.
Yeah.
So I was like, so they were going to release in November, but they moved it to December to coincide with it.
Yeah.
I thought this was funny. So there's things called Krampus runs. Where...
Really? Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
So men, like,
I've
dress
really
up
wanted
as
to do one of
Krampus and
those.
everything, and, like, go through the streets scaring children and everything. I'm like...
Yeah. I've really wanted to do one of those.
I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of fun.
It sounds so fun.
I was like, that sounds very funny to me. I would probably participate if I could. Yeah, this is, again, it's an Austrian-German folklore thing. The thing that when we were just talking about this with the mask and everything. So
Yeah.
it is like what they did, why they made this choice is it's an actual Santa Claus mask. And you don't really get to
I told
see
you, Santa Claus.
you don't actually get to see Krampus's real face.
Oh, okay.
And they just want people to come up with their own conclusions of what Krampus really looks like. And I'm like, I would rather you just show me what he friggin' looks like.
I just would rather see a movable mask. Like, I can understand them putting, like, Santa Claus's face on it. Like, he killed Santa Claus or whatever. But make it movable.
Yeah, that's what they did.
That's like, my complaint.
That was the reason why they did
didn't
it.
move.
Just so it, like, hides his real face. I'm like, I'd rather just seen his real face. Oh, this one made me laugh. I think it's probably my last ones. So the snow on the ground, it's made of material from diapers.
Fun.
I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, we could talk about the folklore of Krampus, but
Nah, we don't have to.
I was like, it's pretty much, he comes if you're an awful little child and takes you away.
Yeah. He's like the bad Santa Claus, like they said in the movie.
I mean, he kind of is.
And I don't think I have any trivia at all for this one. No, I don't have anything. So, favorite line. I do have a few.
Okay. Do you want me to go first or you?
It doesn't matter.
I'll go. Saint Nick is what you make of him. That to believe in him is to believe in the true spirit of the holidays. I like that. I also believe in dessert before dinner. That's a good one. Looks like Martha Stewart threw up in here.
Oh, yeah. I love that line.
That made me
It's one
giggle.
of my favorites.
I never liked kids, even when I was one.
Yeah.
And it's like this Aunt Dorothy cracks me up. I haven't been this hungover since the Pope died. That one cracked me up. My little Catholic humor was really touched by that. So those are mine.
Mine. Maybe they should take a test before they're allowed to breed.
I just remember that one. It made me laugh.
Yeah. So where's the nog? I need to get Mary. I love that one. That one's funny. Why do we have to put up with their crap just because we share DNA?
Oof. I always ask that question too.
What kind of goat walks on its hind legs? And then I think this is my last one. Oh no, I have one more. So I have this one and then one more. Nope, just kidding. I have 3 more. This one and then 2 more.
You found some more.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because I write super small, so sometimes I can't find them. He left me as a reminder of what happens when hope is lost, belief is forgotten, and the Christmas spirit dies. And then, because I'm old enough to know when life is coming at you with its pants down. I love that one.
Man, that Aunt Dorothy, she had some good lines.
And then, I'm sorry, I just wanted Christmas to be like it used to be.
Some good lines there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's your movie, so you get to pick.
I want to pick between... So where's the nog? I need to get Mary. And he left me as a reminder. But I don't know which one.
I like both.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with he left me as a reminder of what happens when hope is lost, belief is forgotten, and the Christmas spirit dies. So what is your rating?
I'm stuck between like a 5 and a 6. Between them. I can't decide. I really can't. It's like in that middle area. I'm gonna have to go with the lower one. It's just that ending just irritated me like no other. Like, it should have ended, like we said, with him getting that bell, and that's it. I would have been perfectly happy with that. But then it went on for more, and that just irritated me. So I take points off for that. Some of the special effects, like I said earlier, okay. Not great, but okay. I would like some more horror aspect to this. But the comedy was a nice touch, I will say that. Got some good comedy actors in here.
Yeah.
I kind of would like to see Krampus's face. I really would have. I mean, yeah, I could see why they did the mask. Why, come up with your own conclusions what Krampus looks like. But I would have rather seen it myself. But that's me. Overall, I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not. I mean, if I had to watch it again, I'd watch it again probably. Yeah.
Okay. I'm giving this one an 8 because, like I said earlier, this is one of the better horror-type Christmas movies. And I do watch a new horror Christmas movie every year just because I want to find that one that I think is perfect for Christmas. But I really enjoy the costuming in this. Like, I think they did a great job with all of the monsters. Like, the ones that at least people were in. Because some of the special effects, like you said, they're not the best, but I think they spent a lot of their budget on the costumes.
Yeah.
So, I really do like the costumes other than the stagnant mask that we get on Krampus. The rest of his costume I think is great. It's amazing. I think it's got that dark humor to it, so that's why I like it, because it's just kind of making fun of itself in a way without really flat out making fun of itself.
Yeah.
I like the concept a lot. But then the only other thing is that I don't like where it ended. I wish it had ended. Like, I always wish it had ended with just him getting the sleigh bell and that was it. Because I feel like that was a better setup rather than going all the way through it. But I do enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's fun. It's entertaining, and it's one of the best, not best, but it's one of the better horror Christmas movies. But it's not one of the best. Because I haven't found the best ones.
I was just going to ask.
They're difficult to do, I think. To combine that Christmas spirit with horror is kind of hard. Like, so far, Gremlins is about it.
Yeah, Gremlins is good.
But yeah, that's all I got for that. So, our next event coming up will be our superhero event, and that will be released on February 29th, 2020. So in just a couple of months, which is crazy that it's already going to be 2020.
I know.
So the two superhero movies I actually picked two animated ones. It was going to be two Batman ones, but I figured I would save one of my Batman ones for later. So the first one I picked is Batman Mask of the Phantasm from 1993. And then the other one that I picked actually came out this year. Came out last year, sorry. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from 2018.
And my two, like, I always tell Kat, I'm like, man, it's always hard for me to pick superhero movies. But I got to pick this one because she let me. So, we are doing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie from 1995, and
they're superheroes.
I know, but you let me do this one because we're fighting over who's gonna get it. Avengers Endgame, 2019, because we both wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's just harder for me to find ones.
Yeah, I was like, you have a harder time finding superhero movies that you like. So I'm like, oh, I've got plenty. I could find one.
You're like, you could take it. Like, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, those will be out on February 29th. And what we'll probably do is the same as this year, or this one, is in the order that they were released. So it'll be Mask of the Phantasm, Power Rangers, Spider-Man, and then Avengers is what we'll do for that one. So we do have a Patreon program as well as Premium. They both are the same thing pretty much, just a matter of where you get it from. Premium you can just get from our website. Patreon, you have to go to the Patreon website. And there are links to those in the show notes. For $1 a month, you will get unedited episodes, early release episodes, and a special monthly episode. For $5, you will get like a patron-only chat forum, polls and voting for our special monthly episode, and you will be able to join us for a movie of your choice every 50 movies, plus everything from the previous tier. That's for $5 a month. For $10 a month, live stream Q&As once a month. And then you can pick a movie of your choice every 25 movies, or an event that is not the Harry Potter event that you can join us for every time we have that event. And that will be included with everything else that comes from the above two. So our special monthly episode for this month, it will be coming out in just a few days after this episode's released, is our Golden Globe predictions. So make sure you check that out if you are interested in seeing what we have to say. And then the Golden Globes will officially be announced, the winners, on Sunday, January 5th. If you could leave us ratings and reviews, that would help us out a lot. The ratings help us get some new listeners. Reviews help us know what you guys like, what you don't like. What do you think that we could do differently? That would help improve the show. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You can email us. Pretty much everywhere. You can talk to us. Share the show with your friends. Helps out a lot. Our music is by Audio Binger. You can find him on his website, audiobinger.net, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you all so much for listening. We will catch you next Saturday. Not this Saturday, because we had these 4 episodes this week. But next Saturday with Blade Runner 2049. So, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.